Alright, what's up guys? So I just seen that it's not showing the whole tweet. I will read off the tweet and stuff. But yeah, I it's one of those tweets where it's like, fam, look, if you don't like where gaming is at, that's on you. I personally do think that nowadays like you need to find a really good single player game, or you need to find a game that's good with friends, but there's like nothing, like no in betweens or outside the circle. Like you either need a really good single player game like PlayStation exclusive single player game like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, or you need like a multiplayer based game like Content Warning or Lethal Company or Helldivers, or yeah, I guess like if you could find some friends that well, I guess yeah, Call of Duty and stuff. But no, it's just with me, like I will have to say, like, if my friends have the game, then yeah, I'm 100% playing it with them. But if not, then yeah, there's some games where like Helldivers, for an example, like I have to play that game with random people because my friends, like, there's some friends that have it, but they don't play it like on a regular basis like I do and stuff. So, but yeah, it's like for the most part, I think that is something with developers. I'm like, you guys need to make video games like for everyone, like how it used to be back in the day where it's like anybody could get in the game. Seems like nowadays it's like rated freaking for FSP for some people, because yeah, it's like games nowadays, I had to say, like, yeah, there is some games where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on this. But anyways, like, I talked on how I felt about that. But no, let me read this tweet to you guys, because it's one of those tweets where it's like, sir, you gotta really you gotta remember that you're going onto the internet when you're posting these things. So it's like, fam, I mean, come on now. But anyways, so he goes on to say, I used to be a gamer, professional at that. Gaming got an explicit word. I'm not gonna say it because there might be some people where that word might be a little bit triggering. I'm not gonna participate in saying it, but I think y'all can, you guys can go see the tweet itself. The guy's name, it's your fellow Arab, and you can read the whole tweet and things. But anyways, so then he goes on to say, gaming got explicit word. I mean that literally. It used to be an escape from the woke. We could get on, release our anger and energy by calling each other every slur in the book. No hard feelings. We're just playing. Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that the other person doesn't know that. The other person doesn't know. I'm like, fam, I could think back. And that's something where I'm like, okay, so do you think that you would be able to say what you say on the game to, like, other people? Because I think that's where gaming is at right now. It's like, talk to people on a video game like how you would talk to them face to face. But if you ain't going to do that, then it's like, then fam, that's why I'm like, look, if you know you're going to be saying some crazy toxic stuff and, yeah, using every racial slur, because I'm like, I grew up in that era where I was playing like prime Call of Duty when it was on the Xbox 360, and yes, you was hearing every slur in the book. It wasn't coming from me. My thing is like, if it was bothering me that bad, then I would just laugh about it, because I'm like, nah, these guys is just crazy. But yeah, it's just, to me, I'm like, fam, why are you like encouraging that? Like, why do you want that back? Like, that's kind of weird. But so anyways, then he goes on to say, at some point there was a shift. Cat ears, dating, green and purple hair, inclusive incivity, but that's where it wrong. So, yeah, he's referring to, like, cat ears. Like, I've seen some gaming headsets where it got cat ears. Okay, some people, my thing is this, if it's a good gaming headset, like, if somebody gifted me that headset and they was like, hey, this is top of the line, like, video games sound amazing, fam, I don't care. I'm like, go ahead, give me the headset. I don't care if it got cat ears on it and stuff. I'm like, it's okay to own a cat, but it is wrong to have cat ears for a gaming headset. I'm like, bro, it's one of those things where I'm like, that's somebody that really hasn't seen the real world, because I'm like, fam, I didn't seen worse than that. It's like, if cat ears, dating, people with like different colored hair, if that's what the issue is, then it's like, fam, get outside more, because the funny thing is like, I guarantee and I promise you, some years down the road, he's gonna look at this tweet, not think anything of it, because if he's going out and about and stuff and actually exploring the world and seeing what the world is really like, then yeah, stuff like that, I'm like, that's why I'm like, when I seen that, I didn't even really know it was a shift in the first place, but I guess, yeah, when I did see that shift, it didn't bother me. It wasn't something where I was all like, I think when I did see everybody with like the cat ear headsets, I was like, dang, that must be a popular headset. But I'm like, I'm not going to allow it to upset me. So yeah, it's kind of just weird. And then with the e-dating, I'm like, fam, if you find love, I'm like, I done heard that years ago though, where it's like people find love in a video game and stuff. So I'm saying, if you find the love of your life in a video game, hey bruh, kudos to you, congratulations, I'm happy for you. I'm saying, like, they probably should have like its own little section of e-dating in video games, because I'm saying, it's like, I'm pretty sure there's people out there, they don't really fool with Tinder like that, they don't really fool with any other dating website. If you go and be playing a game with somebody and you meet the love of your life playing Call of Duty or whatever game that exists, I'm saying, freaking cool, dope, So I do remember though, I remember it was a friend of mine's, well, they're not even in a relationship, but I do remember a friend of mine's where he, at the time being, it was kind of unheard of to even do some stuff like that. But then it's like, you meet people and then it's like, dang, I can see how people can like find love in video games and stuff. And then green and purple hair, I'm like, bro, I'm like, that's people's choice on whatever hair color they want. I'm like, why is that a problem? It's like, I think that's silly. It's like you getting on somebody because of their hair color and stuff. But then he goes on to say, see, gaming was already inclusive, no matter who you were, no matter the color of your skin, no matter your sexual orientation, you were discriminated against. It was a war zone where you could let it all out and we were all equal. Then they took over, or them, whatever you want to call them. Equality went out the window. In the process of combating discrimination, it became less inclusive. One side was allowed to exist. They were accepting. Life is all about narrative. Watch the movie Gamer 2009, lesson in that. So my thing is this. If you got an issue, because it's like, that's multiplayer games, but I'm like, I guess what he's more so talking about, but I'm like, fam, if like multiplayer games are stressing you out that much, there are single player games that you can play where you don't even have to get involved in the multiplayer scene, but it's like getting on people because, and it's like, you sit down and think about it, it's like, the developers behind these games where it's like they're seeing like all this like toxic behavior. I'm not trying to have it where if I have a video game and I'm seeing all this toxic behavior and I'm like, oh well, this is classic gaming, I'm just gonna let it be. Next thing you know, my game is getting canceled, pulled from the shelves. I can no longer release video games anymore because of a toxic lot. No, bruh. I'm like, my thing is this. At times, people don't even need to be toxic in video games. I think there's just people out there, it's like, they shouldn't be playing video games in the first place. And it sounds like you're one of them. To me, yeah, it don't make sense where it's like you want this behavior, but it's like, yeah, to you, it might not offend you. To you, it might not bother you. It's like all this, like, people talking crazy and stuff. But there's other people where it's like that is gonna bother them, and yeah, then it's like getting on people's appearance or who they are or their pronouns and all that other stuff. It's like, man, that's just what the world is. Let it be. Like, my thing is this, people be thinking like they have to be involved. Like, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, you can't really go anywhere in this world and it's like, and then not be involved. Like, you gotta be involved with something. But it's like, it can be something of your choosing. But it's like, if you gotta put down others to just be a part of something, then yeah, bro, it's like you going about life all wrong. And so it's funny, like, there are a lot of people going off on him on this tweet and stuff, because yeah, it's like, fam, you're talking crazy for what? Like, what? You just woke up one morning and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go after the gaming community because it's different from how it was like 10-15 years ago. That's good. I'm like, 10-15 years ago, it's like, I remember some of the videos. I remember like when I very first had got into YouTube and stuff. And one YouTuber that I remember watching a lot of was Minnesota Boy. and or not boy Burns. I was like, yeah, Minnesota boy. That was there's another YouTube. I wasn't watching him. I got into beef with him, but I was not watching him like that. But no, there is another YouTuber named Minnesota Burns, and yeah, bro, some of the people that he would come across, like freaking kids, bro, using the N-word. I'm like, how do you? But then again, I could sit down and think of some kids I went to school with, and I was like, wow, like who are your parents? You know? But yeah, it's like there are some just overall, I believe, troubled people out there, and then yeah, somehow, some way they get involved in video games, and it's like, dang, you know, it's like you really sit down and think about it, it's people like him that ruined video games. You know, it's like we're seeing, like, I hear some games like, actually, you know, no, prime example, Fallout 76. I heard a lot of people when they, like, because when the series had came out and everybody was talking about the Fallout video games and things, people were saying that about Fallout 76, that they thought it was going to be something where it's like, oh, people are going to be going around killing everybody and taking their stuff. You actually have people helping each other in that game. And I'm like, versus from, like, I remember when I was in school playing video, I remember playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 when it originally had came out, and that was like the whole trolling thing back then, was people trapping you in a corner rather than helping you, rather than like being cool with you. No, they just want to do something to ruin the experience of the video game. So that's how I look at like how video games were back then. I'm like, people was ruining the experience. Nowadays, when you look at a lot of games, you got people that's like wanting to help you, and you know, like, let's say you go and post on social media, I never got a Warzone win. You'll have people like contacting you talking about, hey, join our games, we ain't gonna stop playing until you get that Warzone win. You got people out there where it's like, I'm trying to get to a certain level in Helldivers. They're like, hey, we playing tonight, join our game, I guarantee and I promise you're gonna get to that level and things. Yeah, you got people where they'll do that. They'll invite their friend over that's like a level 1 or whatever in Helldivers. They're level 50, but they can play the highest level and stuff, help them level up a little bit more. I'm saying from that, I'm trying to think of some other games out there. Yeah, it's like you got games out there where it's like people are helpful, they cool with one another. It's like, you know, it's like I had to say there's probably more equality and people being cool with each other today than it was back then. It's like you had people getting mad and calling white people at that. They didn't even know that the person was black. They're like, you know, you're acting like an N-word right now. What does that even mean? What, like, that's one thing about insults and how gaming was back then. It never made sense back then. So yeah, it's like this guy, I'm like, bro, it's probably best that you don't play video games no more. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.